This is a classic Warren Buffett move. Buy when things get ugly. And JPMorgan shares, along with the rest of the banks, were definitely getting ugly this week. So suddenly, a report was leaked yesterday that JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon had swept in and snapped up more than $26 million worth of his bank shares. It's about 500,000 shares. But Charlie Gasparino here to issue this warning. Beware the buyback.
I would just say the report wasn't really leaked. It might have been initially leaked, but they made a filing last night. JPMorgan made a filing where it shows that he bought a chunk of stock of $26 million worth. We should point out that he earned $27 million. So he basically took his entire chunk of change that he earned for 2015 and used the money to buy stock.
So why beware the buyback?
I would say this. Jamie's people, I spoke with him last night. They said, listen, he thinks the stock is cheap. He wants to make a statement about bank stocks, about his company stock, not necessarily all bank stocks, but it clearly bled over. As you know, the bank stocks were up today. I've just seen this act before. I saw it with Bear Stearns in 2007. I'm not saying JPMorgan is Bear Stearns.
Of course not.
I saw it with Lehman Brothers.
Well, back then, talk about Bear Stearns, because just as people were flipping out of their minds, very worried that Bear Stearns
Jimmy Kane was running around saying...
Jimmy Kane was the CEO.
And this is in 2007, before the whole thing blew up. I mean, he would run around talking about how the stock is cheap. People would say that at Lehman Brothers.
Did he buy that stock?
I believe he did. And but he certainly didn't sell it. And I would tell you that beware of the CEO who says your stock is cheap. Now, JPMorgan isn't going out of business. I feel pretty confident saying that. But JPMorgan, like all the banks, are going to get hit if we get a recession. And, these guys, know that they face some perilous waters going forward if we have a recession.
I think the warning you're trying to give people is that you've got to be careful when the head person is trying... Maybe, look, I have no doubt he believes that the stock is cheap. He believes in his company, but they're trying to reverse negative sentiment. Deutsche Bank overnight also said we're buying about $3.5 billion back in debt, our debt.
Right. Now,
be careful. That's what I think Charlie's saying.
And Deutsche Bank, we should point out, is different than JPMorgan. Why are they buying back their debt? Well, Deutsche Bank has lower capital ratios, has poor capital ratios. They're a little more leveraged than JPMorgan, so they're buying back debt as opposed to stock. I don't know if they have the currency to go out there and buy back massive amounts of stock.
But again, it's a, hey, look over here, shiny object.
Yes,
we think this is okay.
The banking industry, I guess what we got to point out is the banking industry is going to do all sorts of things in the next couple of weeks and months to basically say that we're fine. And stock buybacks is one of them. I would tell the average investor, don't follow the lead. Watch the economy. If the economy gets better, then Jamie Dimon is right. If it doesn't get better, these bank stocks are not going to do too well. And by the way, we've called the other banks. They're all mum on whether they're going to go out and their CEOs are going to go out and do the same thing.
Mum. Did you happen to see Volume 2, MILF, or Secrets of a Chambermaid?
The Chambermaid one.
You heard about the story with the Ted Cruz.
Yeah, listen, very pretty girl. Do we have a picture of her?
She's just professional. Hold on, right there. She's the one.
Okay, now here's the thing. Now, this was started by the liberal media who wanted to...
Oh, come on.
Now, listen, the Daily Beast, which I occasionally do writing for...
The Post is all over this.
Well, now they are.
They lean right.
No, but they started it where they said that they basically outed this poor woman for being in a couple of films, which, by the way, Sarah Jessica Parker does more softcore porn in Sex and the City than I bet you this woman does.
That's humor, and that's HBO.
No, and Bill Clinton did hardcore porn.
But should she be
wait a second. Let's be clear here. Bill Clinton, no, let's be clear. Bill Clinton did hardcore porn in the Oval Office, and the liberal media supported him, and they try to out this poor lady. They're disgusting. I feel bad for her. And by the way, Ted Cruz blinked. Here's the other thing I would say. Donald Trump would stand behind her.
Well, Ted Cruz isn't, so...
That's horrible.
Talk about a red herring.
But after getting outed by the liberal media, which allowed Bill Clinton...
Somebody else... You don't think that his competitors out there on the Republican side pulled that out?
Bill Clinton did hardcore porn in the Oval Office.
Okay, you said that 3 times. Thank you, Charlie.